What's going on, y'all? I'm going to make a video real quick. It's kind of echoing here. There's a cricket in here that I wish I could stomp out, but I can't find it. So I want to explain a little bit of this shooter incident. Tomorrow I'm going to have a mic, a lapel, everything. I'll make it clean so I can do a better synopsis of this. But when I looked over this, obviously I have some experience on the SWAT team. I know a lot of guys on SWAT. I'm going to try to do a live stream and put a lot of tactical people in there so this can be explained. I want to dispel a couple myths and put it in perspective for people. 148 yards is a long way. If you have ever watched a football game, if you're looking from end zone to end zone, that's 100 yards. And then you go another 50 yards. That's a football field and a half. The furthest I've shot without an optic was 100 yards in SWAT training and also in basic training. When you shoot at 100 yards through, unless you have magnification, you're shooting at a person and your optic is about this little. This is what the silhouette of a person is at 100 yards without magnification. And at 150 yards, I mean, you talking like this. Without magnification, it's impossible to hit somebody in the dome at range like this. I'm assuming that this guy had a rifle with magnification and he had training. Trump was here. The snipers were here. The reason why they're positioned here and they put Trump here is so they can control angles of fire from different people. This is bushes. It's almost impossible to hit Trump in a clear sight here. It's almost impossible to hit Trump clear sight here. Nobody's hitting him from these angles because this is a building and he's positioned right here. The only way people can hit him is probably here and this side. And that's why the snipers position here, because they could easily scan from here across here with officers on the ground. High point, they should see on top of all these buildings. And for them to engage with him like this is very interesting. And we'll talk about it tomorrow more, but this is very interesting. Because you can clearly see while Trump is speaking, the snipers were looking in this direction. Without magnification, they're not gonna be able to really see this guy on top of the shed. I mean, he's probably the size of my thumbnail to them on top of this shed. That's how little he would be from way over here. And it looks like he was wearing clothes that were similar to the coloring of the top of the shed. So potentially, when they're looking over here, they don't know what they're looking at. They probably see somebody crawling, but from here, they may not be able to see the gun. They probably have to look through magnification to make sure that this guy has a gun before they shoot him. Mm-hmm. I don't know, without getting all the evidence, who shot first. If he's here at 150 yards with a suppressor, nobody heard the bang. You probably heard the whizzing of the bullets, but nobody heard the bang. If he didn't have magnification, the bullets are already hidden before you hear the bang because the bullet travels faster than the speed of sound. What we probably heard was them shooting him. A theory that was brought up on my live stream on YouTube was that there was a potential that they shot him first and potentially missed. So they had him, they saw him, they scoped him, they shot him. The sniper looked up to verify and then went back into the optic. That could have been what happened. He missed, he got a clear shot on Trump. Or he shot first, they saw the muzzle flash, identified him as a threat and shot him. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end it. There seems to be no way whatsoever a person can do multiple follow-up shots from 150 yards and they be accurate at all. This guy, two things could have happened. The God factor could have happened, or this guy didn't zero his rifle. If he had magnification and he tried to shoot Trump from here with a headshot, with a good gun, a good platform, good training, good trigger pull, he could have hit Trump in the head from here. Relatively easy at 150, depending on the rifle. But if this guy is not an expert and didn't zero his rifle, that could have been why he missed Trump right off the ear. Because from that distance, if you don't pull the trigger right, if your breathing is not right, it ain't no way you're gonna hit somebody solid, even if you have you have the optic right on the person.
All right, go ahead, Jay.
I mean, I saw a lot of people, with the stage theory, and I mean, you never can be too sure. I mean, based on what I saw, it didn't look staged. It looked like someone who, probably played a lot of played a lot of Call of Duty, and they thought that they could actually do this. They didn't have the right caliber, they didn't have the right equipment, but they were probably in these forums and they got tasked with that. Oh, he's coming to your city. Aren't you in this city? Aren't you in Butler? Yeah, I'm in Butler. It's your time to shine. You know what I'm saying? And then this was the odd thing. I know if you see the people being interviewed, there was a guy saying that he was telling the cops, like, look, there's a guy, we seen him clear as day crawl up there with a rifle in his hand. And, he was saying the cops were kind of like really lackadaisical, like they weren't acting right away. They were really lackadaisical because because he said he was at a distance where he couldn't see directly to Trump, but he could hear the speech still going. So after he alerted the cops, he noticed that the Trump speech was still going along. And he's like, why haven't they removed him off the stage? I told these people that I see somebody that's a possible threat up on the roof with a rifle. Why haven't y'all taken him off the stage? This is what the guy said when he was being interviewed. And when you say stage, it's like, people lost their lives, so if and there are casualties, even if it is stage, there are casualties in that. But staged by who? Was it staged by Trump, or was it staged by somebody that, doesn't want Trump to do what he's continuing to do? You understand what I'm saying? Because if you alert the cops, or just think about it. Uh, I was watching a show where somebody was talking about they were going hunting with Trump Jr., right? And Trump Jr., you have to kind of sign paperwork for you to have the detail. Because with ex-presidents, Barack, all of them, they have Secret Service with them for the rest of their lives, that follow them and their family. If you want to drop your detail, you have to sign paperwork to say, I don't want this security with me at this time. You have to sign a waiver for that. Long story short, Donald Trump Jr. was hunting. He was out there hunting, and he was, realizing, like, where the hell are the animals? I don't see any animals here. I've been sitting here for damn near a day and a half, back and forth, and not one animal. One of the people who had a cabin in that area was like, what do you expect? He was like, being that you were coming out here to hunt, the Secret Service damn dropped like a plane 4 times down here to, look at the area, survey the area to assess if they had to get you out of this predicament, how many times they would do it. So he's saying that those helicopters and stuff doing those test runs ran all the animals away. So the animals aren't coming back for at least 2 or 3 days. So I say that to say, if they're doing that for his son, imagine what they should be doing for him. So, or imagine what they do for him. They went to that area, surveyed it. How is a random 20-year-old just climbing up a random building and setting up that easy? And then you have these people standing by and it looks, sketchy to them, and they're relaying this to law enforcement and it's not being handled. So that's what I think. It could be staged or it could be an inside job. Who knows?